Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about my top 10 PlayStation 2 games. There are a ton of great PlayStation 2 games, and I think this list is probably going to ruffle some feathers. I'm going to try to limit it to one game per franchise, so you can kind of think of it as like representing the whole franchise if it's on the list. Let's go with number 10, Dynasty Warriors 5. Now, I know what you're thinking. Seriously? A Muso game on your top 10? Listen, if you want to watch just like the same carbon copy top 10 list, just load up Metacritic and go jerk it, alright? But for me, Dynasty Warriors 5 is such a emblematic part of my youth. I played the shit out of it in high school, like in a summer. I'm an apologist. Like, listen, I'm not trying to convince you to like Muso games, and you're not going to convince me to not like Muso games. I just want to run around and kill hundreds of guys. With rock music playing. I don't care if it's brainless, whatever. It's, for me, a very, it's just fun. Chinese history, just running around, killing guys. That's pretty much it. Lubu rules. One of my best friends from high school, he was like, have you played Dynasty Warriors 5? He showed it to me, and we were just obsessed with it. So, it's gotta be on the list. It'll always have just an important place in my heart. I love Dynasty Warriors 5. Number 9 is Eco. Very short game, but like doesn't outstay its welcome. Beautiful little game, like, you know, the sort of connection between the two characters as you try to protect her. It's endearing, it's kind of creepy. It's been a long time since I've played it. Also has one of the worst American covers I've ever seen. It does a lot in its short amount of time. Number 8 is Disgaea. So Eco is short, Disgaea is long, or I guess as long as you want it to be. I'm really mainly just played the first one. That's the one I'm most familiar with, but it's the definition of numbers go up. You're just leveling. You can go into item world and like reset your levels and just get even more stats. If you like numbers go up, which I do, I mean, that's the whole game. And I do love numbers go up. The story's a little hokey, but I think it has its charms. That sort of era of anime game and even the voice acting, it's I have a soft spot for it. You know, one of my best friends also, it's, you know, one of his favorite games. He introduced it to me. I feel like a lot of these games, there's a sentimental, you know, part of it too, just like fond memories. I'm not claiming this is the most prestigious, the objectively best 10 games on the PlayStation 2. But this is one of them for me. I really enjoyed it. I should at some point play through some of the others, but that first one I have very fond memories of. Number 7 is Odin Sphere. I actually have not played the remake, although I hear it's great. Beautifully animated, sort of side-scrolling action game. And there's like 5 different characters, and the story's really fun. I remember for the PS2 though, certain bosses, it really couldn't handle the workload, so there was a lot of stuttering, a lot of freezing. I'm sure the remake fixed all that, at least I hope. But yeah, this is Vanillaware. I don't know if I've played a ton of other Vanillaware games now that I think about it. This might be the only one I've really played. Character design's great. Oh, the food in it looks delicious. It's just one of the most beautiful games in terms of animation as well. Number 6 is God of War 2. This is basically representing God of War 1 and 2, but I mean, 2's the better one. Right from the get-go, you know, it launches you into just an insane boss fight. I grew up playing that original trilogy. Very fond memories of it. Kratos is just an edgelord. This might be a surprise. I actually have not played the new ones yet, which you're like, what? You're in Ragnarok. I know, it's on my to-play list. But God of War 2, and the voice acting is great in it. Those action combos, man, real satisfying game. Very impressive, I think, especially for a PlayStation 2 game. Number 5 is Katamari Damacy. I mean, if I had to be more specific, maybe We Love Katamari might be the one I like more. I don't know, it's tough. I think the first game probably has better music. They're both combined into one for me. It's such a funny game, rolling things around. You know, the sounds that they make, the art design, it's just a wonderful, strange experience. My dad and I went to Best Buy, and I think I was picking up We Love Katamari. And I buy the game, he looks at the cover, he goes, "This is what you're buying?" And I was like, yeah. I also remember, I think the first game was like a budget title, because I think they didn't, you know, think it would do well, so I think it was like $20 or... I remember it being very cheap. and God, it was a steal. Like, just a incredible game. God, the music's so good. Like, I mean, the core gameplay is great, but then just having those absolute bangers in the soundtrack, man. Phenomenal games, some of my favorites of all time. I just love that rolling mechanic. Number 4 is Shadow of the Colossus. I did say no, these aren't, Eco and Shadow of the Colossus aren't the same franchise. It's the same creator. Shadow of the Colossus, if you haven't played it, you gotta kill those colossi. Each one is like its own crazy puzzle, and you feel real bad when you kill them. That music that plays, it makes you feel like a piece of shit. Art design, the atmosphere is so moody and sad, and yet so triumphant when you figure out how to kill a colossi, or a colossus, and then when they die, the absolute mood switch to feeling bad. Man, it's a really beautiful game. I actually have not played any of the remakes, or remasters, I should say. I probably should, but wow. Just an aggro. Your horse, man, so good. There's a reason why, even to this day, it holds a high place in people's hearts. God, and then stabbing your sword into those, so satisfying. And yet you feel so bad. Number 3 is Resident Evil 4. I'm one of the weirdos who played it on PS2, not GameCube. I know most people played it on GameCube, but God, Resident Evil 4 is so good. The tone of it is so cheesy, but just the right amount of cheesy. Man, that first area where you're just running through the village and pushing ladders over, and it's just, I have such fond memories of it. The character interactions, Krauser, and where's everybody going? Bingo? Classic lines. I have a very distinct memory of, I ran out of bullets, and I can't remember the name of the enemies. The ones that, like, are they like regenerators or something? It's like the crazy, I'm gonna look it up. Yes, they are regenerators. I ran out of bullets, and I had my knife, and I was just like panicking and trying to kill it with a knife, and eventually I did it. So satisfying. It's just fucking great gameplay. I need to play the remake at some point. I hear really good things about it. That B-movie schlocky, but really well done action is just, I love it. I love the cheesiness of it. Number 2 is Ratchet and Clank. Let's go with Going Commando. I mean, the Ratchet and Clank games in general are amazing. They are platformer shooters, and the weapons are so satisfying to use, and they like level up as you use them and upgrade, and they're really funny games too. I love the cast, like Dr. Nefarious and Captain Quark, and all these really well written and very funny. The acting's so good. Yeah, they're great games. Going Commando to me is like my favorite. I think people usually like Up Your Arsenal the best out of the PS2 ones. If you watched one of my previous videos, you know how much I love achievement lists and objective lists, and those games always have a very robust list of things you gotta do, which I did, for 2 and 3, and maybe Deadlocked, but at least 2 and 3 I definitely did the entire list for both. And I felt like Going Commando had a really fun, just list of stuff to do. It's full of things to find. Oh, so good. I haven't played one in a while. I've heard really good things about, like, the newest ones. I'm a bit behind. I think the last one I played was Cracking Time. And man, they're fun. So I think Going Commando will take the spot here, but they're all great. And finally, number 1 is Persona 4. I guess Persona 3 is included in that, but Persona 4 is just a better Persona 3. Amazing. It's an amazing game. Also, 4 fixes stuff where, because I believe, I could be misremembering, but in 3, you couldn't control your party members. But I think in 4, you could? I'm like 90% sure you could have. And I like the cast a lot in 4, just a really great cast of characters. They really feel like a bunch of friends. Really good villain. The music, of course, is always great. That sort of life sim, calendar, like, pick what you do that day. God, it's addicting. I mean, I love 5 as well. Any game that has that kind of like, all right, what are you gonna do today? Whoa, it's a dangerous mechanic that I just sink my teeth into. If you haven't played Persona 4, wow, it's a great game. Yeah, and like kind of the vibe of the town too, that sort of like country town vibe. I love that. You should play it. If you don't know what Persona is, check it out. All right, that was all the top 10 PS2 games. Let me know in the comments what PS2 games that aren't on the list that I should check out. I mean, I know there are a bunch, and there are gonna be some people like, you didn't put this on there? Again, that's fine. That just means there's more games for me to discover. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.